This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, Eala set for main draw debut at French Open against Arango. Brooke Van Sickle gearing up to join Alas Pilipinas' powerhouse lineup. Pagdanganan among four tied for LPGA lead in Mexico. Tigers 0, Guardians 7. Bibee shines as Guardians take control. Liberty shattered WNBA three-point record in dominant win over the Sky. Anthony Edwards hit with $50,000 fine over postgame outburst. OKC dominates again. SGA shines after MVP win. Thunder up 2-0 in Western Conference Finals. And we get to know one of the volleyball pillars of the College of St. Benilde, Mycah Go. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 23rd of May. Now, here's our roundup. Filipina tennis sensation Eala is gearing up for her first ever main draw appearance at the French Open as she battles Colombia's Emiliana Arango in the opening round this Sunday. Arango, 24, currently ranked world number 88, will be a tough first test for the 19-year-old Eala, who just cracked her career best ranking of world number 69. This marks a breakthrough moment for Eala, who fell in the third round of qualifying last year. Now, she's ready to compete among the best in Paris. But the clay courts of Roland Garros aren't new territory for the Filipina. Eala captured the 2021 junior doubles title here alongside Oksana Selekmeteva. She's also been riding a wave of momentum on the Pro Tour after her stunning Miami Open run, where she knocked out big names like Madison Keys and Iga Swiatek before falling to Jessica Pegula in the semis. Just days ago, Eala also teamed up with Coco Gauff in the Italian Open doubles event, where they reached the quarterfinals. All eyes now turn to Paris as Eala looks to continue her rising streak on tennis's biggest stage. Brooke Van Sickle, a two-time PVL All-Filipino Conference MVP, is set to join the rising Alas Pilipinas squad next week, with her transfer papers to the Philippine National Volleyball Federation currently in the works. Head coach Jorge Souza de Brito confirmed that Van Sickle and PVL All-Filipino Conference Finals MVP MJ Phillips have submitted their federation transfer documents from USA Volleyball. Both standouts helped power Petrogas to its historic first All-Filipino title and impressed on the international stage at the ABC Champions League. They've made it clear they're committed to representing the Philippines. Also expected to arrive next week are National University ace Alyssa Solomon and a strong group from LaSalle, including Angel Canino and Shivana Laput, who are currently on a break. Belen and UAAP two-time best setter Lams Lamina have begun training with seasoned mainstays like Gia de Guzman, Don Macandili Katindig, adding youth to the mix. Rookie of the Year, Shaina Nitura of Adamson has been practicing alongside Phillips, Maddie Madayag, Jeanette Panaga, Justin Hazareno, and Clarice Loresco. Alas Pilipinas is aiming to break the medal drought at the Southeast Asian Games later this year. First stop, the AVC Women's Nations Cup in Hanoi, Vietnam, from June 7 to 14, followed by the C V-League in July. Bianca Pagdanganan shone in the sweltering heat, carding a 4-under-68 to share the lead at the Mexico Riviera Maya Open. The 27-year-old from the Philippines hit all but two greens, making a two-putt birdie on the par 5 18th to join Chisato Iwai, Jenny Shin, and Brianna Do at the top. The El Camaleon course at the Mayakoba offered windy conditions, but the intense heat was the biggest challenge for the players. Jenny Shin started strong with 7 birdies but slowed after a double bogey on 16. Chisato Iwai finished with 2 birdies in her last 5 holes, while Brianna Do opened 4 under through 5 holes and ended with a birdie on 18 to stay tied for the lead. 5 others, including Hye Jin Choi and Jenny Bay, were 1 shot back at 69, while Mexican favorites Gabby Lopez and Maria Fassi struggled, shooting 79 and 75 respectively. Moving on to Major League Baseball, the Tigers kicked off their 7-game homestand facing the Guardians, and this time around, Cleveland came out on top 7-0. Jack Flaherty started for Detroit, while Tanner Bibee took the mound for Cleveland, and Bibee was the story. The early innings were tight, both teams pitching clean frames. Dylan Dingler and Javier Baez managed singles in the third, but the Tigers couldn't turn it into runs, and Gleyber Torres left the game hobbling after a lineout. In the fourth, the Guardians struck with a 2-run double from Carlos Santana, putting them on the board. Rain started pouring, but so did the Guardians' offense. Angel Martinez connected for a solo homer in the fifth, making it 3-0. Flaherty held on decently through 6 2/3 innings, but the Tigers' bats remained silent. The 8th inning brought a brief chance for Detroit. Trey Sweeney walked, Baez singled, and a blooper loaded the bases with no outs. But the Guardians' reliever, Cade Smith, quickly shut it down with 3 straight outs, and Cleveland sealed the deal in the 9th, adding 4 more runs to end it at 7-0. In basketball, the New York Liberty set a WNBA single-game record with 19 made three-pointers, rolling past the Chicago Sky 99-74 to improve to 2-0 on the season. Kennedy Burke sealed the record with a deep shot in the fourth, capping a 55.9% team shooting night from long range. Natasha Cloud led the way with 18 points and 8 assists, while Burke added 17 off the bench. The Liberty broke away in the second quarter, outscoring the Sky 25-9 despite Sabrina Ionescu sitting with foul trouble. Chicago cut the deficit to 13 early in the third, but a Liberty timeout halted the momentum, and New York responded with another run. Angel Reese picked up an offensive foul and a technical, and the Sky never recovered as the Liberty pulled away again. Despite getting 20 turnovers and getting out-rebounded 36-28, and New York's shooting and depth proved too much for the Chicago Sky. The NBA revealed that Minnesota Timberwolves guard Anthony Edwards has been slapped with a $50,000 fine for dropping profanity during a media session. The incident happened Tuesday after the Timberwolves took a tough 114-88 loss against the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Edwards, who's been an all-star for the last 2 seasons, was limited to 18 points, just 5 in the second half, and struggled to connect, making only 13 shots. His explicit comments were broadcast live on ESPN.
I definitely gotta shoot more. I only took 13 shots, but
What the hell, Ante? What the hell, on? What the hell,
This isn't Edwards' first brush with league discipline this season. He's been fined previously for other offenses, including gestures aimed at officials and fans. He also led the league in technical fouls with 18. Now on to the actual matchup in the playoffs. The Oklahoma City Thunder are now just 2 wins away from the NBA Finals after taking down the Minnesota Timberwolves 118-103 in Game 2. The Thunder now hold a 2-0 series lead in the Western Conference Finals. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander took center stage, accepting his MVP trophy before tip-off. Then, backing it up with a monster performance, dropping 38 points on 12 of 21 shooting and going 13 for 15 at the line. Jalen Williams added 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, while Chet Holmgren chipped in 22 points as OKC shot a sharp 50% from the field and forced 14 turnovers on defense. Just like Game 1, the Thunder broke things open in the third quarter, outscoring the Wolves 35-21 and extending their series edge to a +28 in that frame alone. Minnesota put up more resistance in the fourth, cutting the lead to 10, but never really closed the gap enough to threaten. SGA now in elite company with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook as Thunder MVP winners finished with 38 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals. Anthony Edwards did his part for the Wolves with 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists, but got little help. Julius Randle struggled mightily, scoring just 6 points on 2 for 11 shooting and sat out the final quarter. Game 3 shifts to Minneapolis with the Timberwolves desperate to respond and the Thunder looking to keep their momentum going. And here's your daily dose of sports lingo. Did you know why it's called a putt and not a throw in shot put? The term putt refers to the unique motion used to propel the shot rather than throwing it like a ball or discus. Athletes must push or put the shot from the neck using one hand. This technique follows strict form guidelines to ensure safety and fairness. The shot must stay in contact with the neck until release, and the movement should be a straightforward push, not a swing or sling. This pushing action is what gives the sport its name, shot put, separating it from other throwing events in track and field. So next time you see an athlete in action, remember, they're not just throwing, they're putting with power and precision. Now it's time for our off-court buzzer. Lewis Hamilton has spoken, and he admitted that Ferrari is running short on time this season. But he's looking to keep the energy high at the Monaco Grand Prix following a strong fourth-place finish in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix last weekend. After leaving Mercedes, where he clinched 6 of his 7 world titles, Hamilton has faced unrelenting scrutiny and is still chasing his first podium in Scarlet after 7 races. He also knows the clock may be ticking on this year's development, with the team likely to shift focus to 2026, when new engine rules will shake up the grid. Last week, Hamilton managed to outperform teammate Charles Leclerc for the first time this season, and he's hoping his upgraded setup will deliver a strong qualifying run in Monaco. Leclerc, who enjoyed a fairy tale win in Monaco last year, doesn't sound as confident about a repeat performance.
If you want a honest answer, then low, because unfortunately our car hasn't been particularly strong in low-speed corners, and there's only low-speed corners here in Monaco.
Leclerc still holds a hometown advantage, having grown up and studied in Monaco, giving him extra familiarity with its narrow streets. But it is a tight race literally and figuratively. We will soon see who reigns in Monaco. And that's our roundup for tonight, the 23rd of May. Up next, we get to know one of the volleyball pillars of the College of St. Benilde, Mycah Go, when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. She has been around long enough to know the highs and lows of collegiate volleyball. This time, as one of the pillars of the College of St. Benilde, she is determined to make a memorable swan song by giving CSB another title. Here's our chat with Mycah Go.
Hey everybody, we are here at the De La Salle College of St. Benilde Sports and Dormitory Complex, and I'm so excited to be doing this interview right now because I am here with one of the most decorated players in NCAA women's volleyball. She's the team captain of the 3-time champions in the women's volleyball division in the NCAA. We have Mycah Go. Mycah.
Hi.
Hello. Maraming salamat. Mycah, this is a very special year for you, season 100, because marami kang pinagdaanan sa career mo. And how different is it for you knowing that this is your last dance in the NCAA for Benilde?
Well, siguro I just want my last year to be memorable lang. So, as much as possible, I want to help my team kung anong kailangan. So, yun lang naman yung gusto ko eh. Kasi nagka-catch up lang din naman ako kung anong na-miss ko sa kanila. So parang bumabawi lang din. So yun lang din more on yung ginagawa ko for yung team.
Okay. This is very different for you kasi nga, if we're going to chronicle yung mga nangyari sa career mo, season 97 was the first season of volleyball after the pandemic. This was the year na first best spiker ka, nag-MVP ka, nag-champion kayo, and then the second year was when you got injured and you were part of the coaching staff. Third year mo, or third year since the pandemic, you came back, nag-champion ulit, but you were not 100%. Season 100, is it official that Mycah Go is back to the way she used to be, or para sa'yo may kulang pa?
Siguro kasi lagi ko na sinasabi na may kulang pa talaga. Pero as much as possible, pinipilit ko na yes, eto na yun. Kasi syempre last ko na yun.
Paano ba nagsimula yung volleyball journey mo? Where are you from and how did you first fall in love with the game?
I started volleyball when I was grade school pa. Sabi ng dad ko, mag-ano ka na. Doon ka na sa city mag-aaral para sa volleyball. Nung di naman ako yung type of person na pag ayaw ko talaga. So, gusto ko rin naman mag-try ng something bago sa sarili ko. So, trinay ko lang hanggang sa masaya naman kasi syempre may mga teammates, may mga iba't ibang friends, may iba't ibang people na coming from different places. So, natuwa lang din siguro ako sa ganun.
Okay. Ano yung first organized volleyball experience mo? What team did you play for as your first varsity team?
Southwestern University in Cebu.
In Cebu?
Yes.
Tiga Cebu pa ba?
Yeah, Cebuana.
Cebuana. Okay, kamusta naman ang volleyball sa Cebu? How different is Cebuana volleyball?
Well, yun nga. Nung time naman na yun, hindi pa ako marunong pa eh. So, under training pa din naman ako. Pero yun yung first ko na yung may team, lahat. So, yun nga, na-enjoy ko naman. So, nawala na yung coach ko before. So, na-refer niya ko Coach Jerry. So, doon ako nalipat ng Hope.
I'm curious about kung ano yung pagkakaiba ng volleyball style sa Cebu. Kasi naalala ko before, nung nagko-cover ako ng Sesafi. Sesafi din ba yung liga niya?
Yeah, Sesafi.
Yeah, when I was covering Sesafi basketball, sabi ko, ba't pa ang bibilis ng mga players dito, mga basketball players? So sa volleyball naman, ano yung pinagkaiba ng playing style doon sa Cebu kumpara dito sa Manila?
Siguro kasi ma-differentiate ko na lang sa coaches sa lahat ng games. Kasi syempre, yung sa Manila, mas madami akong na-experiences na liga nga. So, kaysa nung sa Cebu. Pero ayun nga, yung mga players kasi sa Cebu very athletic. Parang madami akong teammates na, ang galing naman nila. Pero nung time na yun, nanonood lang ako. So, nung pagkalipat ko na nga ng Hope, doon ko na parang sobrang willing ako matuto. So, doon ako.
Who are some of the players, Mycah, that you watched growing up that served as an inspiration to you na ipagpatuloy pa yung volleyball?
Well, madaming local players na nagagalingan ako. Like sila Ate Gretchen. Pero, yun nga, gusto ko lang din talaga siguro mag-improve.
Yeah.
So, yun lang din siguro yung gusto ko. Kasi, syempre, yung family ko, si dad ko, volleyball din siya before.
How did you mold yourself into this kind of player na who can do it all? Or is well-rounded in terms of skills?
Si Coach Jerry na siguro. Sa dami kong pinagdaanan kay Coach Jerry, pili ko doon na din naman na ako nag-mature sa kanya. So yun. So malaking factor din talaga si Coach.
Okay. Speaking of Coach Jerry, syempre marami ng magagaling na players na dumaan sa kanya. And I noticed dito sa second round meeting nyo against Letran, kasi first round meeting, tinalo kayo ng Letran, first time that you experienced defeat in the NCAA post-pandemic. Tapos second round, nakabawi kayo. I saw Coach Jerry, nakatayo na talaga siya sa court. So, ano yung effect nun sa inyo mga players, knowing that si Coach Jerry was usually just chill, sitting down, tapos ngayon, nakatayo siya.
Malaking factor din talaga pag si coach nakatayo sa gilid eh. Kasi mabilis lang yung communication. Kasi ang hirap pag sisigaw, syempre di kami nagkakarintigan. So yun yung gusto din namin, na nandyan lang si coach. Pero mabilis lang yung communication.
Mycah, I've heard the rumor na there are some games na pag hindi nyo na-sweep ang kalaban, babalik kayo dito sa Bilyonaryo at mag-i-ensayo.
Hindi naman po.
Is that true?
Siguro sometimes, pero syempre, ano lang yun parang kung ano lang yung i-correct namin para sa next games namin, maayos namin. So yun lang naman yun.
Okay. Do you see yourself maybe becoming a coach also in the future, being that, syempre, marami ka nang natutunan kay Coach Jerry?
Hindi ko rin alam Never know. Sana.
Pero kung hindi volleyball, ano kaya sa tingin mo yung gagawin ni Mycah Go sa buhay?
Yun yung hindi ko alam kasi never ko pa na-imagine. It was simula grade school. Nagba-volleyball na ako. So,
This June.
Yes.
Well, congratulations in advance. So it could be a graduation and a championship before, mag-end yung chapter mo dito sa Bilyonaryo and sa NCAA. Naisip mo na ba yung at kung ano yung mararamdaman mo, how emotional you're going to be, being that, yun nga, ilang linggo na lang.
Kaya pinipilit ko sana this last NCAA ko para masaya ang exit.
Mycah, for you, what's the biggest obstacle that's standing in your way to achieve this 4-peat?
4-peat, medyo mabigat din kasi talaga yan. Lagi sinasabi ni coach sa akin yan. So, yan.
Do you want to be teammates again with your former teammates that you became champions with, and knowing that SGA Strong Group Athletics also has teams there in the PBL?
Well, sana. Okay naman. Gusto ko din naman. Pero madadraft ako So, ako lang yung madadraft sa kanila. So,
this season, magpapadraft
yes, magpapadraft. So, di ko rin alam pa.
So, if not a strong group team, I hope you don't get in trouble for this. Not that I'm trying to get you in trouble, but eto na lang. If there's a player na pinapanood mo dati na parang okay maging teammate itong player na to. Sino yung player na yun?
Hindi ko alam Kasi, syempre, mahirap kasi gusto ko rin naman yung magiging teammate ko, maganda yung attitude.
Okay. For my last question, Mycah, kasi as we have been saying, this is an emotional year for you. Are you a believer in the saying that everything happens for a reason, and that siguro this situation that you have, it set the stage na Mycah Go has a chance to win a 4-peat for Bilyonaryo?
Yes, yun naman yung lagi kong sinasabi. Kaya ako na-injured, kaya ako nag-stay pa ng isang year. Kasi pwede naman ako sumabay kina Chloe na umalis na. So, well, siguro, yun na nga. Yung everything happens for a reason. I think, yun na nga yun. Kasi what if dumiretso ako sa pro? So, syempre, hindi ko rin alam na mangyayari sa akin. So, okay na din if nag-stay ako. Kasi at least, siguro mas maganda yung magiging past ko for myself at pagiging athlete.
Well, Mycah, we are very proud of what you have achieved as a Bilyonaryo and, of course, an NCAA student athlete. All the best in your last few games dito sa NCAA, and of course, all the best also in the future in your volleyball career. Mycah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Up next, Game 2 isn't just about evening the series. It's about reclaiming control. The Knicks took a hit. Now, it's about heart. Will Jalen Brunson remind everyone why he's still the closer-in-chief? Or will Tyrese Halliburton keep writing his legend one dagger at a time? The Garden's buzzing, the rivalry's reignited, and this series is officially personal. So stay locked in so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Welcome back to the Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. Let's just be real. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals wasn't a basketball game. It was pure cinema and a plot twist. A 14-point Knicks lead with under 3 minutes left turned into yet another wait, did that just happen moment from Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers. And if you're a Knicks fan, it probably felt like Reggie Miller had been reincarnated in real time, minus the baggy shorts and the snarling trash talk. Look at this. This isn't just Pacers versus Knicks. This is Halliburton versus Brunson. This is the closer wars. So let's set the scene. Jalen Brunson has owned the clutch narrative this postseason. He's got the Jerry West trophy on his mantle. Reggie Miller calling him the most clutch player in the league on national television. And he's basically had Madison Square Garden eating out of the palm of his hand. He's not flashy, he's fundamental, old school footwork, herky-jerky moves, buckets under pressure, and a killer instinct. He's been that guy. But now, enter Mr. Tyrese Halliburton. And I don't mean nice story, all-star caliber, good vibes. Halliburton. No, I mean, I just erased a 14-point lead and hit a buzzer beater while taunting the crowd like Reggie. Halliburton, that guy. That's a different level of basketball psychology. That's walking into Madison Square Garden, tying the game with a deep 2, thinking it was a 3. And then, doing this, the choke sign. The exact choke sign that still gives Knicks fans PTSD from 1995. Look at this. You don't do that unless you've got it. And Halliburton starting to get it now. If you're keeping score at home, and I know you are, Halliburton has led 3 absolutely improbable playoff comebacks in the last month. Down 7 with 40 seconds left versus Milwaukee, win. Down 7 with under a minute to go versus Cleveland, win again. Down 14 with under 3 minutes versus the Knicks, you know it, another W. Now, how many teams have done that in 25 years? 3. And Tyrese Halliburton was the quarterback in all of them. Aaron Nesmith, he deserves flowers too. The guy went Steph Curry mode in the final 5 minutes and finished with 30. But let's not kid ourselves. This is Halliburton's series now, just like it used to be Reggie's. And while he doesn't have Reggie's edge or villain energy yet, he has the shot making, the flair, and more importantly, he has that belief from his teammates, his coaches, the fans. That's the real transformation we're seeing. Now on the other side, the Knicks, they're reeling. Brunson dropped 43 and still walked off the floor wondering how it slipped away. His clutch credentials are legit, no doubt. But now we get to see something different. Game 2, that's the test. Reggie broke their hearts. Halliburton might be trying to break their spirit. So here we go. Game 2. It isn't just about adjustments or X's and O's. This is a battle for clutch supremacy. Brunson wants to prove that Game 1 was a fluke. Now, Halliburton, he's chasing legacy and maybe, just maybe, chasing ghosts. The rivalry is back. The Garden's restless. And the closer wars, they're just heating up. This is gonna be fun. Now stay ahead of the game as the battle for the playoffs heats up with high-stakes games. And here is your odds breakdown for this weekend's matchup. And that wraps up tonight's preview, so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Before we go, think on this. From the first Chinese woman to win an Olympic tennis gold medal, Zhang Qinwen once said, "I've always wanted to become one of the Asians that can inspire young kids and make them love tennis." And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again next week on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport right here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This has been Anton Roxas. Have a blessed weekend, everybody. Good night.